Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and we're going to be talking about one of the most recent NFL free agency signings. As today, the Las Vegas Raiders signed tight end Austin Hooper, who was the Titans' tight end last season. And yeah, let's get into it. So they are signing him to a 1-year, $3.75 million deal, and this is first of many moves that they've added to their offense. They've also had, some other guys come out like Darren Waller, which I think that's really the only guy that has left their organization. But compare Darren Waller, who's an outstanding tight end, to all the other guys they have brought in. These 5 other guys that they brought in, I think they brought in a lot of depth in for Jimmy Garoppolo coming in. But let's get into what he'll do for you. I mean, he's a guy who was the starter for the Titans last year, but only spent 1 year with them. Then came from Cleveland, which that didn't really work out for him because Cleveland, I mean, they were whoever, I don't know who was the quarterback. I think it was Baker who was at the quarterback at the time, but their real number 1 tight end was David Njoku. So Austin Hooper just wasn't a fit for them. I think they ended up cutting him, if I'm correct. But with the Falcons, that's where he, truly had his, best times. I mean, up until Kyle Pitts, he was drafted in I think he was drafted the year they went to the Super Bowl, the year before. Because I remember he did score a touchdown in that Super Bowl 51. So that was his rookie season with the Falcons, that rookie year when they went to the Super Bowl. And up until then, until they drafted Kyle Pitts in 2020, or 2021, or 2020, he was their number 1 starter. He was their tight end. He started every game at tight end, so he did a lot for them at the tight end position. And then Kyle Pitts drafted. I think they tried, keeping them both in the roster. It didn't work out. They ended up trading him to Cleveland. That's where Cleveland didn't really work out for him either. Tennessee was decent for him. I think he might have had some health problems. I think he might have had some injury problems. But I think with a new beginning in Las Vegas, I think he could be very decent. Let's talk. We're going to talk about some of the additions they've added in for quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, you got to keep in mind they already had Davante Adams and Hunter Renfrow to throw the ball to before these moves. And then they also have Josh Jacobs at running back. Now, Darren Waller was on the roster when Jimmy G came in. He gets traded to the Giants for a 3rd-round pick. He's gone. Now, they replaced him with 2 tight ends. We're going to talk about all the additions this Raiders offense has made. Philip Dorsett, a wide receiver from the Texans. O.J. Howard at tight end from the Texans as well. Jacoby Myers at wide receiver, who is in a great addition and got him for really cheap as well at wide receiver. And he had Jimmy G throwing the ball to Myers, Adams, and Renfrow will be just amazing to watch. And then Cam Sims from the Commanders, who is a really underrated wide receiver and a decent runner as well, and then Austin Hooper as well. So you have a 2 tight end set with O.J. Howard and Austin Hooper, which I think would be a really good tight end duo. You've added in a lot of depth at wide receiver because you already have your 3 starters of Myers, Renfrow, and Adams, and then now you're adding in Dorsett and Cam Sims with those guys, and Keenan Cole, who was just re-signed as well. So you got 6 wide receivers that, honestly, looking at their offense, all those guys could be a starter. Keenan Cole started a couple games for the Raiders last season, so they got a lot of depth at that wide receiver position. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this offense. Jimmy G has a lot of weapons, and this was another good move for the Raiders. You guys have your thoughts on the signing, and that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.